my God.
That's not enough. You have to create, and it has to be better than what you were disrupting. That's a lot to do with an optimistic attitude after what we've been through. So, get ready.
It's so beautiful. And yet, we had a fighter jet fly by just a minute ago, reminding us what the world is outside of this beauty. Just a little reminder. And the butterfly even. Sometimes you have to play the hand that you are dealt rather than what your plan was. And that's really what the last 6 years of my life has been like. I caused an ending instead of them ending me. And that really is the truth of it. There are people that are very upset that I am here. Sorry, not sorry. I knew who you were before you knew who you were. I knew what you were capable of and what your agenda was before you had even worked out the details of it. Does that mean I manifested it? Maybe. Or maybe I was just the bait. The same kind that I wouldn't take from you. Evil comes in many forms, and I have a hard time telling the story without portraying the sound of a victim, and I am not a victim. I am not. There are pieces of paper that say I am. There are statements from legal entities that say I am. I have 42 cars, for example, on my credit report, yet I have a rental at the moment and have no car. But I digress, and someone needs to confess, because this is over. The cycle is over. What has happened has happened. And we need to start over, and it's time. See, we were never going to get to the new unless we got rid of the old. And it was just taking too long. It was just taking too long. And some of the people were not wrong. For example, dark money. Dark money does some evil things. Dark money also became a different category, like a category within a category over the last years because of the sanctions, which I don't agree with. Sanctions hurt people, real people. They don't solve the agenda, they just make it more miserable for everybody in its path. And everybody navigating around its path, trying to just move forward. Sanctions are for leaders that don't show up to solve problems. That's what sanctions are for. When you take the high road, you best be sure that you are squeaky clean, let me tell you. Because you don't want to go after someone if they've got any reason to hold you up. And that's what sanctions do, right? We have a sanction about a war that should have never happened. An occupation that happened that is not unlike other occupations that have happened in the past. So the war starts to defend and turns into a laundering factory. I'm not here to debate. Look it up yourself. The money goes in and it gets invested in things, which the things that are being invested in are questionable if you lift the veil. But at the same time, there's an alternate going on where money's coming out of somewhere and being invested in other things that aren't that bad. They certainly aren't as dark. But they're the ones wrong. You get to judge them and then do it as the solution? Wow. And those of us in the middle that see it all clearly and see both sides of it and watch it and see the hypocrisy become targets for both sides. You're defending them. Oh, you're speaking up for them. Oh, you're joining side. You're from there. You're with them. Well, I don't condone any of this, and certainly not like causing me to be involved in this without knowing, and then trying to pin something on me that's going to get me in trouble with them, that's not cool. So there are ways to solve this that we need to approach them the right way. And it doesn't involve everybody pulling out their guns and going on a battlefield of murder for 20 years, like we just got over. The war crime trials have not happened yet for the last 20 years of war, and they're already starting another. When will it be enough? When will it be enough? The war is canceled. It is canceled. Do not show up. Take the paycheck, go to the cantina and have a drink. If they ask you to lift a weapon, empty it. It's over. It is not worth killing over. Money. It's all about money. It's all about power and money. We all know it, so just don't engage in it. If somebody asks you to kill someone, if somebody asks you to launch a missile, just ignore it and don't do it. Quit if you have to. There's somebody else that'll pay you to not press the button, just like there is somebody that will pay you to press the button. And if you think that you have the moral high ground, then show up and debate it. Show up to the governing bodies and demand conversations happen. Document your points. Speak out. But don't be a pawn in the worst renewal of hate and just misunderstanding even. Like, they don't even hate each other. It's just accepted at this point. Oh, you have to align with them and you have to align with them. You have an IBAN, you have a SWIFT account, and you aren't participating. Those are the lines, okay? It's not borders. It's banking systems. And if you don't believe me, Google the fact that when Obama was in term, he had to have the military deliver cash to, I think it was Iran, because they aren't connected to the SWIFT system. But we were paying them off. This goes back to when I was a kid. When was it? 1980? The Iran-Contra hearings? Well, I don't recall what year it was, but he didn't recall selling those weapons to Iran either. This is just a game. It's just a sick game. Don't participate. If you take away one thing from me, just don't participate in war. It is not worth your life. It is not worth, I mean, thank you for your service, but this is not what it's for. It's for peacekeeping at this point. If you have a weapon, it's for defense, and you best use it only for defense. Because at some point, this will get sorted. There will be trials. This will get sorted. Some of it's happening. But if we talked about it, you just create more victims that have to live in exile. Pretty exile, but exile nonetheless. And again, it's about banking. It's not about the border I'm in. It's about, is my ATM card tied to a routing number or a SWIFT? Is it tied to this jurisdiction with an IBAN, or is it tied to this jurisdiction? And what right do you have to use that card? And who are we to say you can have both cards? Meanwhile, there's a whole economy starving in war and impoverished, but money's coming in and going for investments for the elite that have put the leaders in place like puppets? No. Unsubscribe. We're done. That's it. We're done. No war, only peace. NATO? That is a 70-year-old idea. It is anti-Russian. It was anti-Soviet. Now it's basically anti-Russian. And it's about what I call having the cool kids table from 70 years ago and excluding people. And that isn't going to get us to the new world. Everyone needs one set of treaties. Everyone needs one set of trade policies. And everyone gets to participate in the new world. Anyone who invites themselves gets to participate. And the ones that don't invite themselves and don't join into the all, they will be left behind. And they will find themselves in exile instead of the rest of us. I love you very much. Please remember, the war is canceled. The war is canceled. Both, all, any. The wars are canceled. It is spoken, it is written, and it is so. We will have peace. We'll have to come at you with armed weapons to make you have peace. We will have peace. Peace.
there are churches everywhere. There are just churches in this whole country as a church. And then there's one in the train station too. Can't we get extra Johns? It says interfaith, don't be you. They're a little ipaboodled and they can be.